Hi everyone, my name is Leslie and I am the IESA Bowling Administrator, and I wanted to take a little bit of time today to go over some important reminders as you prepare your teams or individuals from your school for this year's bowling sectionals and state finals should you advance to that level as well. In about a week you should be getting a copy of the bowling mailing. It will be sent to your school mailing contacts, so if an administrator is receiving this, please make sure it is shared with your bowling coach. And included in this packet are the activity update, which is a one-page document that outlines the changes from last year to this year, as well as some reminders and deadlines that your school will have to meet. It'll include the bowling terms and conditions, as well as the IESA coaching certification requirements, the state mandated concussion certification requirements, the bowling rules that we follow, as well as ball specifications, and then the online entry form instructions if you are not familiar with how to enter your roster online. I'm going to go ahead and dive into some of the deadlines that we have coming up. On March 15th, your online roster is due. So you will get some emails from me reminding you to make sure that that is completed. And on your online roster, you'll need to include the names of the bowlers for the positions which your school has registered. If you have a team of 4 bowlers in one division, so if you have 4 boys or 4 girls, your school is permitted to also enter 2 alternates. And then below the students that are listed, you do have the opportunity to list 1 head coach and 1 assistant coach per division. Just a reminder from last year to this year, a change is that should your school advance from sectionals to state, only the coaches that are listed under the division that advances from sectionals to state will be given a coach's wristband and a pit pass at the state finals. So for example, if you have both boys and girls registered and both compete at sectionals, but only your girls are the ones that advance to state, only the head coach and the assistant coaches that are listed as of that online roster deadline will be given a coach's pit pass and wristband. The boys coaches, if you don't have boys advancing, will not be given those. So please make sure, coaches and administrators, you double check and make sure that the correct individuals are listed. And as a reminder, any coaches that are listed on your online roster must meet the IESA coaching certification, as well as the state mandated concussion certification. Like I said, the online roster is due on March 15th. You do have up until Friday, March 29th to make any changes to your roster. At that point, your roster is locked and closed. So please make sure if you're supposed to have any alternates that they are listed on there. As of that date, I'm going to send that information over to our sectional hosts so that they can go ahead and get that, get the lanes and such ready for sectional competition on April 6th. We do also have 1 coach position open on the Bowling Advisory Committee, so if there's a coach that's interested in serving on that committee, please have the school administrator email that recommendation to me. We do have those positions kind of cycle through and open a couple of spots possibly every year, so if you're interested but I don't have a spot for you this year, certainly the school administrator can email me their recommendation of having a coach on the committee and we can see if we can work you in the future. Some handbook and terms and conditions changes that do affect bowling. We have finalized now that girls will always bowl in the morning shift at Friday of the state finals. We were hearing from coaches that it would be helpful to just know that from the get-go if there was some consistency from one year to the next. So you can plan that at the state finals on Friday, April 12th, girls will bowl in the morning shift and boys will bowl in the afternoon shift. I already talked about wristbands and pit passes are only given to the coaches listed in the advancing divisions for the schools that compete at the state finals. We also, as a committee, made the recommendation to the board of directors, and the board approved it, that if a sectional site does need to bowl in 2 shifts, there will be a minimum of 8 lanes used in the first shift, so that it's not just one team bowling. The sectional site does determine which schools are going to be bowling in the first and second shift, so please know that we will kind of take into account which schools are closest to that area, so that way if schools need to leave and can't be there for the entire day, if there are 2 shifts, they'll kind of work with which of the schools are closest in proximity so that we can make sure a coach is there as results are reviewed prior to awards at sectionals. New this year, bowlers are not permitted to leave the pit area to receive coaching instruction from anybody that's not a coach. If a bowler needs to leave the pit area for personal reasons, such as using the restroom or getting different equipment, that is permitted. If it is found that they are communicating with non-certified coaches, so individuals that are not listed on your online roster, the first offense is a warning. The second offense will be a 50-pin deduction, and if there is a third offense, that bowler will be removed from competition. So please make sure your bowlers are aware of that change. And then finally, the IESA pass cards that we have for school administrators, those are permitted to be used at the state finals if the school administrator has a guest. What I do in preparation for the state finals is I will go ahead and print out a copy of your online roster. School administrators, athletic directors, assistant principals, if you have them listed, those will all show up on there already, and those individuals are permitted in for free to the state finals, but if they would like to bring a guest, the activity pass must be shown. So those are the big changes for terms and conditions and the IESA handbook. Just a couple of reminders. Coaches, make sure that you have completed the concussion and IESA coaching certification requirements prior to beginning in any sort of coaching capacity for this year. And then also, if you can take some time to teach, talk to, remind your kids about bowling etiquette, that would be helpful as well. I've included a list of bowling etiquette in the activity update, and so if you can take a look through those, as we have some schools who are experienced bowlers and have been to our sectionals and state finals before. We hope that these are just friendly reminders to you. For those of you who are new to bowling, for the IESA, we just want to make sure that your kids are aware of lane etiquette and what is appropriate. I am also posting sectional sites, and they should be posted by the time that you get this video, so please make sure you take a look at that. We have had an increase of about 15 schools, so you will see that if you went to one sectional site last year and you were at a different site, is because we try to balance the number of schools at each site. And I'm excited to tell you that we do have 75 schools this year, so that is great to see that the activity is growing, and truly I'm excited to have more kids involved. And then for the state finals, just reminders, equipment storage. When a division is competing on Friday, the students' extra equipment can be left in the locker room area. We would like to encourage and are going to direct schools to put that extra equipment in the locker room area. We have found that as we have bowlers and coaches and assistant coaches and alternates in the pit area, that area can get very clogged, so we want to free up some space and some room in there, so as we move from one lane to the next, there is some room to do that without the risk of anyone's safety tripping over equipment. So extra equipment can be stored there. And then on Saturday, everybody will store extra equipment in the locker room, and then the school check-in area can be used as an overflow area on Saturday of the state finals. You can lock equipment in a locker once you were there, but if anything is not locked in a locker, just know that is unsecured. So please be aware of any valuables. Make sure all of your equipment is labeled as well with student's name and school name on it. And we had a couple of issues with individuals who are not listed as an IESA coach coming into the pit area at the state finals last year. This is a reminder that any individuals that do not have a pit pass are not permitted to be in the pit area. If you are not part of a school's roster and part of the division that is competing for the school, then you are considered a spectator. Please make sure that you stay behind the lanes and in the spectator seating area. And that kind of wraps up everything that I have for you today. If you have questions, please feel free to shoot me an email or give me a call at the IESA office. In the next couple of weeks, you will be getting a handful of emails from me reminding you to complete your online roster. If I have any information from sectional hosts that I need to share with you, I will certainly do that as well. We hope that you have a great season. We hope that your kids have a great experience this year. We are excited to go into our second year of sectionals and continue our state finals at Town and Country Lanes in Joliet. And we hope you have a great year. Thank you so much.